So yeah, no pressure. It's light-hearted.
Yeah.
Only me. You're cool as a cucumber anyway, Andy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the engine room from Finally. Today we have none other than Andrew Jaynes from Andrew Jaynes. Welcome, Andy.
Hello, Steve. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent. Nice to see a beautiful logo on your shirts.
Yeah, fresh out of the packet. This one is actually, and sporting a lovely logo that you guys did for us.
I didn't want to mention it, but yeah, so we do work with Andy, and we've been trying to get him on the engine room for a little while, but he's been rather preoccupied with work, shall we say. We'll touch on that maybe later on. But your first job is to give us your 30-second elevator pitch. I'm going to time you to see how you get on. So yeah, Andy from Andrew Jaynes. Your 30-second elevator pitch starts now.
So Andrew Jaynes provide a complete in-house measure, make and fit service for timber windows. So from new build properties to listed buildings. One of the key things about what we do is longevity. So our whole product range is designed to last a long time so that you can have complete faith in timber windows.
Nice. Did that in like 20 seconds.
That's not bad.
So that's, I mean, if you can say it in less than 30, why not, eh? So the next section is the big three. And your first question from the big three is, what is your favorite quote that you like to live by?
So I can't say it's my absolute favorite, but one that stuck that I saw recently was, I think it's Thomas Edison. And he said, I haven't failed. I've found 10,000 ways to not succeed. And I really like that quote. That goes a long way with me.
Love that. That's brilliant. I've not actually heard that.
It's one of those things. It popped up somewhere when I saw it, but I don't know. It speaks to me about kind of mindset, really, and it's relevant to the whole kind of thing that we've been through recently, which has been quite a tough time. But just that mindset of turning things that on the face of them look negative and that other people might construe as failures, and seeing what positive you can get out of it, and really kind of going, well, the route to anything that you call success is just you've got to go through a lot of failures to get there.
So we were chatting earlier, weren't we, that all these failures, or they're all learning experiences. We've all had them all the time. And I think if you can just learn from those things, it just helps you make better decisions moving forwards. Okay, yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So what is your view on the future of UK manufacturing?
The future of UK manufacturing, well, I've got I talk in context of what we do a little bit in our own manufacturing, but I think one of the sort of things that I've noticed is that previously there's been a massive kind of push for cheap products and the cheapest possible thing, and the stuff manufactured in China or whatever, everything done as cheaply as possible. And I think I've just seen more of a shift towards that doing things as cheaply as possible isn't always the best solution, whatever it be, best for the planet or best for our own sort of well-being as people sometimes, and that's always not always the best option. So for me, I kind of see more of this, I don't know how to describe it really, but a bit more kind of people orientated and a bit more about kind of the service aspects that go along with manufacture. Because I think for what we do, although we manufacture in that's the core of what our business is, but surrounding that is kind of a whole package of service and being people dealing with people, and I think that sort of counts for a great deal. So I guess it's all that other stuff that sort of goes with the manufacturing and that makes it a whole package, and the sort of service aspects of it. So
yeah, so you feel that in a way manufacturing has got to, it's not just about what you make, and it's becoming more so, especially with some of the the issues we've had with Brexit as well, that the companies that can offer all those kind of softer things, like the service and the communication and the promises, reputation, they're going to be just as important.
Yeah, I mean, certainly from our perspective, as I say, you would come to our premises and just think, yeah, we're manufacturing, there's noise, machines, there's dust, there's wood, but and yeah, that's part of it. But in reality, we're providing a service, and it's how we come across as competent to deliver that service that ultimately wins us work. Yes, there's the product as well, but and I just think there's much more of a shift towards that way of thinking, and people expecting that level of service and sort of actively searching it out, and kind of stuff like online reviews like that. And it's there's so much more than just cost going on, I think, really. Yeah, I think that's where I sort of see it going, certainly in our sector anyway.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, no, I think you bang on. So from your point of view, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned during your time in manufacturing?
There's a couple of things that I think I've learned. And I think actually the first one is going to come straight back to that quote that we said, Thomas Edison, and the kind of thing about failures and working through those. And the biggest thing is going to be sort of adopting a mindset towards setback and failure. And even calling them setback and failure, they're not. They're just, call them learning opportunities, and kind of thinking about them in a way of, well, I can't change what's happened to me, but I can change how I perceive it, how I respond to it, and just kind of, accept that you've got a setback, but then kind of embrace the fact that you've got a learning opportunity and what you can get out of that. And, it's the same for everybody. We're not in the same boat, through COVID and Brexit, we've been through so many difficulties, but I just think you can, just sort of choose to embrace those tricky situations and think how you progress through them, and how you grow at the end of it. I know it's kind of a bit cheesy and a bit cliche, but it really is. That is one of my biggest learning things, really. You can just sort of bang your head against the brick wall, but
sometimes you can feel like you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I guess
think, oh, what am I even doing? Why am I even running this business?
Yeah, that's it. I chose that word, like setbacks, at the beginning. It sounds like you're going backwards, but again, it's like, I think forward progression and growth. Again, it's cliche. It doesn't happen in nice straight lines. It happens in sort of like fits and starts, and you feel like you're going backwards. And again, that's just part of the learning process. I think, of any growth and anyone that experiences growth. So I just think, there's a kind of, tell yourself, this is all normal stuff. I'm learning from it. It's really important. Actually, it was another thing that I've learned about as well, a bit more pragmatic thing, a sort of important thing about manufacture. And again, it's kind of been relevant to us right now, and that's about our processes. And the one thing that I would sort of, if I could go back 10 years or whatever and tell myself something, it would be, with your processes, write them down. So don't rely on verbal processes, just really put the effort in to make processes written down, documented. That's really important. Big lesson.
100%. You know what? I'm not good with process. And luckily I have some people around me who are really good with process. And having great processes written down in place that everyone can follow, even if certain people, if people leave or things change, has changed this business, and it makes it a much calmer business as well, and it's also good when you bring, when you bring new young people through, they have this kind of template that they can follow. And 100% agree. I mean, it's not something that I love as a thing, but I know how important it is.
Yeah. Because for me, I'm a process orientated person, and I get excited about processes, and I think, what's really exciting is just recently where I've seen other guys in the team go to me, look, Andy, we've written down this process, we've gone through all this process, we've got it written down, and now the new guy that's come in is following the process, and he knows exactly how to do the job, and that's fantastic. That is music to my ears. I love that.
It takes a lot of pressure off you as well.
Yeah.
And also other people can, like you've just seen, take responsibility for that.
Yeah, because we've got this little mantra that is, you know, verbal isn't good enough. So just, you know, verbal instruction or verbal process alone isn't good enough.
Brilliant. Okay, so the final section of the engine room is your question of the week. So we have been working together for 2 to 3 years now, helping Andrew Jaynes grow as a business. That bit's been going reasonably well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. No, so that has been going well, but
It has been, yeah.
I know that. But going back to some of your quotes, etc., I know it's not been plain sailing. So the question I wanted to ask you was, what has been the hardest part about growing the Andrew Jaynes timber windows business?
Yeah. Okay. The hardest part about growing it. So as you said, we worked together, and you know, I guess we sort of came to you as a marketing company thinking about kind of growth and getting more sales in, thinking, I hope we can achieve that. And we did, and that worked brilliantly well. And what that did is it brought along a whole great big other problem, in that effectively we had more work than we could comfortably handle. And that was been our sort of biggest obstacle, was, I guess, effectively kind of scaling up. I guess you call it growing pains or whatever it is. But that has been incredibly hard. That's presented us with a lot of difficulties over the last year. And again, yes, that sort of, you know, picks up on some of the quotes earlier about just going through all those difficulties and learning through them. And it also picks up the thing about processes, because I think that's one of the things that it puts to the test is, you know, as this extra work came in, it put a lot of pressure on us. It tested us all to the sort of extremes, and, you know, it found that where processes were lacking, you know, it made things really, really difficult. So, yeah, that's been one of the kind of biggest obstacles, I think. And yeah, the important thing is just about sort of setting our processes in place, having them written down so people can follow them and kind of keep track of them. Because one of the things that we found is that if you don't have that nailed down, these processes kind of tend to sort of change by the process of Chinese whispers, and you know, before you know it, things aren't getting done exactly the way you want them. And, yes, and that's posed a lot of problems. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Look, thank you ever so much. I know you've had a mad time, and I'm really glad that we finally got you on the engine room. Yeah, this is Andrew Jaynes from Andrew Jaynes on the engine room. Thank you very much, Andy.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Take care.